Jai Bhim, Jai Moolivasi. Krantibai Jyotirao Phule's book, Gulamgiri, is considered one of the pioneer books. It explores Brahmanical supremacy and hegemonies in the social structure of Indian society. It critiques the institution of caste through a 16-part essay and four poetic compositions. And it is written in a form of a dialogue between Jyotiba and a character he calls as Dhotiba. The Gulamgiri is a great articulation of Phule, in which he also critically evaluated the Indian society with a logical argument. He wrote this book in 1873 for the downtrodden section to make them aware of the oppression in the Indian caste system. The main thrust of Mahatma Phule's text is an inversion of the racial theory of caste. Now, what is the racial theory of caste? According to this theory, a superior foreign race invaded this land. They became what we know as Brahmins today. The lowly indigenous people who were conquered and people inhabitants of this land became the Shudras. Phule challenged the very premise of the racial theory of caste using his choicest weapon, reason and logic. Phule takes an already existing discourse and he even inverts its moral logic. He accepts the factuality of the theory. He says, yes, Brahmins are a different race. Yes, they invaded and conquered us. But he upturns its moral logic and says that the invaders were actually corrupt, cruel, and depraved. Superior? They were not. Mahatma Phule punctures Hindu myths using logics. For instance, right at the beginning, he takes the story of origin of four castes from the Purusa Sukta hymn. According to this story, Brahmins were born from the head of Brahma, Kshatriyas from arms, Vaishyas from thighs, and Shudras from the feet. Often peddled as the justification for differential status enjoyed by different castes, this narrative is rendered absurd by Phule. He poses a straightforward but perhaps a slightly provocative question. Does this mean Brahma had four vaginas where he gave birth from? What is even more extraordinary about this text is that it tries to wrest a legitimate cultural space for practices and beliefs of Shudras and Atishudras. Phule does this by trying to situate these practices within the narrative of a glorious historical and cultural legacy. One such example is the story he weaves around Bali Raja, the Puranic myth in which the Brahman boy Vaman asks three boons of Bali and then steps on his chest to send him down to hell is taken by Phule as a story of deception and conquest by the invading Aryans. According to Mahatma Phule, you will never find those from lower caste making a wish for Bali Raja on this day. Upper caste, he says, will in fact place a rice statue of Bali on their doorstep and kick it. Phule equates Bali with a Shudra king who was defeated by the cruel and savage Vaman. Bali is seen as a popular and peasant king and is remembered with the Marathi saying, Ida pida javo, Balisa rajya yevo. Throughout Gulamgiri, Phule continuously asserted how the lack of access to education was the reason for subjugation of Dalits. As Ambedkar was, Phule too is sometimes criticized for aligning his cause